Give the acid catalyzed mechanism of the formation of the acetal given below. So now this is the formation of acetal. So this is the acetal. So which means the first thing I should do is figure out how it's really made. So identify your aldehyde or a ketone or the alcohols first. Okay. So in this case, you can see that the oxygen is within the ring. If oxygen is within the ring, then maybe your alcohol was also in there. Okay. So let's focus on this carbon yet again, because this carbon has the two oxygens coming out of it. Okay, and that's what tells me that that's probably where my carbonyl is. So I'm just going to write it just the way it is. So here, this bond is going to break and that bond is going to break. Okay, those are the ones that need breaking. So which means that I have to have an OH over here, and then here I have to have the carbonyl, and then I also need ethanol, okay, because the breakage points tell me where my alcohol groups should be. Okay, that's what it is. And of course, this is all going to be acid catalyzed. We don't do base catalyzed, so don't even try to use any bases anywhere. Okay, no use for having any negatives in this one. So now we are supposed to give the formation of the acetal. So now these are our starting materials. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not for nomenclature. This is just for writing out my compound. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the fifth one I have the alcohol. I can do whatever I want. I can either use the internal alcohol to do the cyclization, or I can use ethanol first to form the acetal, the hemiacetal, whatever I want to do. Okay, it's entirely up to me. So which means it's also entirely up to you, whichever one you want to do first. Okay, it's entirely up to you. So I will go ahead and do the internal one first. Okay, so I can form my ring, get that out of the way. Okay, so here's the OH. Hopefully by now you're getting more and more comfortable with the mechanisms. You should draw all of these mechanisms out yourself, and then you can check them, okay, over here in this slide and see if you got them correct or not. I'm going to write this just the way it is, and then we are going to correct everything. Okay, so here, and then this is connected there, and then there is an H here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's my 5-membered ring. So this is equivalent to, there we go, that's that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And so on the first carbon, I have the OH and I have a methyl group, and then the oxygen, I have 1 hydrogen, which also tells me then I should be drawing a plus. Okay, over here for my oxonium ion. So now I have to deprotonate that, H2O. That gives me my hemi. So now from the hemi, I'm going to go ahead to form the acetal. So I have to do the protonation again. So H3O plus, and now I have to get rid of this one. So this is the one that's going to get protonated, the OH. And so OH2, methyl group is still there. Nothing happens to the methyl group, obviously. Now I need my ethanol, and so this is the SN2 part of the mechanism. Now you don't really have to say a back attack or anything like that, although you understand the SN2 is back attack, but nobody's looking at that. The main thing is that you don't form the carbocation. Okay, that's the important thing. Minus H2O. I like to write my minus H2O every time, just because it gives me the sense that, okay, I removed the water. Okay, so you don't have to write it if you don't want to, but I like writing it. I would encourage you to write it also, because just like when you're adding things, when you're removing things also, it's kind of helpful, okay, to do that. So go ahead and write that out. So the last thing I have to do now is I have to deprotonate my oxonium ion, and here we are, OET, and then the methyl group right here. So that is it. Okay, I have formed my acetal, and this acetal is a different kind because, of course, in this one you have an internal cyclization going on, as well as another molecule of ethanol. Okay, so let's see what happened where. So this is where the internal cyclization was happening, and then here was where the ethanol was coming in. That was the second alcohol, and then of course here is the minus H2O. Okay, so those are your key markers to tell you how your mechanism is progressing.